Hi there and welcome to video number 35. This video is on calculating in standard form. Now I've already made a standard form video where you're converting the numbers into standard form or from standard form, but this one is where we're doing some calculations with those. So if you haven't watched that one and you feel like you need to, please go back and watch that video before you finish watching this one. Powers of 10 and standard form are explained in the other video. So, method. Multiplying and dividing is a thing that we can do with these numbers. We can multiply and divide, and we can do that with the number bit. Multiply and divide the number bit first, then use the adding or subtracting powers rule for the times 10 to the power bit. Now that adding and subtracting powers rule, rules 4 and 5 in the powers video. And again, if you haven't watched that, you're going to need to understand that in order to be able to do this skill. And then the last bit says ensure your first number is between 1 and 10, and then adjust the power if you need to. So adding and subtracting, ensure the powers are the same in the times 10 to the power bit, and then add or subtract the first number bit. Pretty basic stuff. It's not really, it's just quite tricky. It's very easy to make mistakes on this. I'm still wearing my hat. So number one, we've got to calculate these numbers. This number multiplied by this number. 2 is the number bit in this one, and 3 is the number bit in this one. That's what I'm referring to when I'm talking about the method here. So 2 multiplies by 3 to make 6. That is a number that is already between 1 and 10, so no conversion at the end is going to be needed. And then 10 to the power of 5 multiplied by 10 to the power of 7. Adding the powers rule, we're allowed because the base numbers are the same, is 10 to the power of 12. And what we do is pop that together as a calculation, a standard form number, sorry. Okay, and we've calculated using those numbers in standard form. Now, in B, we've got 1.8 times 10 to the power of 11 divided by 4 times 10 to the power of 4. This is a little bit trickier. People don't like dividing as much, and you've got 1.8, you've got a decimal here, so you've got 1.8, and you're dividing that by 4. Now if you divide 18 by 4, you get 4.5. So if you divide 1.8 by 4, you're going to get 0.45. Okay, now that's not between 1 and 10, so we'll deal with that at the end, but we'll keep that there. Alright, you could change things at the beginning, but I like to do it at the end. So 10 to the power of 11 divided by 10 to the power of 4. We're allowed to use the subtraction of powers rule because we were dividing the base numbers here. So that's going to give us 10 to the power of 7. So our answer is not going to be 0.45 times 10 to the power of 7, because I hope you realise that that first number is not between 1 and 10. If we move it forward, move the decimal place forward one space, we get 4.5. Okay, times 10 to the power of something. Now, if we moved it forward one space, what we're going to have to do is take 1 off of the power. Okay, so that's going to be 6, and there's our final answer. That's in standard form. All right, and I'm going to go over here. Oh, I don't normally do that for question 2, but I'm doing it anyway. So there are approximately 2.4 times 10 to the power of 3 goji berries in a kilogram bag of goji berries. Now they are superfood, health food. Go and eat some. They're good for you. How many are there in 300 bags? Answer in standard form. So you've got to interpret the words, got to figure out, oh, it's a standard form question, and what am I doing with those numbers in standard form? Well, I want to work out how many there are in 300 bags, and I know how many there are in one bag, so I'm going to multiply. So that's the number that there are, multiplied by that number of bags. It's going to be 2.4, multiplied by 10 to the power of 3, and I'm going to pop that in some brackets. It's always good to pop these standard form numbers in brackets, because that is, otherwise things could go wrong. Multiplied by, and I'm going to pop this number in a standard form, 3 times 10 to the power of 2. If you're not sure what I've done there, go and watch the other video, like I said at the beginning of the video. And then 2.4 multiplied by 3. So 2.4 multiplied by 3 is 7.2. And then 10 to the power of 3 multiplied by 10 to the power of 2 is 10 to the power of 5. So I'm just going to pop those answers together. That is a number that is between 1 and 10, 7.2. And then multiplied by 10 to the power of 5. There's our final answer. That's how many goji berries there are in 300 bags. I made it up. It might not be that. Anyway, in 3, I looked this one up. Hilarious question that I've created for you here. Make up your own jokes about it. The mass of Earth is approximately 6 times 10 to the power of 24. And the mass of Uranus is approximately 9 times 10 to the power of 25. How many times heavier is Uranus than Earth? Now, if you want to work out how many times something, or how many times more something is, then you're going to do a division. of the two numbers. Now we're going to divide the bigger number by the smaller number. Now I know that the mass of Uranus is bigger than the mass of Earth because of the power. I know it's got a higher power, so I know it's a larger number. So I'm going to take the larger number and I'm going to divide it by the smaller one. Write it as a fraction. You might see them written like this. That's okay. Now we're going to do 9 divided by 6. When you do 9 divided by 6, let's write it out like this, is 1.5. And when you do 10 to the power of 25, you multiply it by 10, divide it by 10 to the power of 24, you're going to get 10 to the power of 1, right? And that's just 10. It's 10. So what all I'm doing for my final answer is doing 1.5 multiplied by 10, which is 15. So we know that it's 15. Uranus is 15 times heavier than Earth. Right, last skill in B, squeezed one of these in. So calculate this number plus this number. We've got to add them. Now, the way that you would do this is ensure the powers are the same in the times 10 bit. And we can't add them in a quick or trick way here. We've got negative power here and a negative power here. We're going to make this a power of 3. You could make this the power of 5, but I'm going to make this one the power of 3. And I'm going to write that there. So times 10 to the power of 3. Now, because I've added 2 onto this to get that to be the power of 3, I'm going to divide this number by 100, this 4. So that's going to go back 2 spaces. That's going to be 0.04. All right. Again, if you're not sure what I've done there, just have a think about it. All right. Now, that is a thing we are able to add together because we don't have to worry about that times 10 to the power of something bit, because that is what our answer is going to be, times 10 to the power of minus 3. We just have to add 9 to 0.04, so that's going to be 9.04 times 10 to the power of minus 3. All right, now that would work with subtraction as well. Just obviously take away the numbers, or that number, but you'd get calculations that wouldn't be like that way around. This number would be bigger here. All right, so yeah, have a play around with it, have a practice, do the questions in the linked bit in the description. Keep watching the videos, buy hats like me and wear them. Don't know what else to say. Thanks for watching. Keep watching. Bye.